Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I'm your host, JoAnn Crohn, joined here by the brilliant Brie Tucker.
For you.
Guys, it is almost August. Is it August, Brie?
It's July 1st today.
It's July 31st today.
We never record these episodes early. No. Actually,
No.
in all truth,
No.
people, it's only like 10 days away from that right now. So there
We're not doing this too ahead of time. But school is starting very soon for most of the country. For mine and Bree's kids, they've already started July 16th, which is unbelievable. It starts this early, and also kind of a blessing here in Phoenix because it's too hot to do anything outside anyway. So they might as well be in school.
Yeah.
But you know that moment when the email hits your inbox asking for volunteers, whether it be the PTA, whether it be the booster club, whether it be just to like cut out things at home.
Room mom. And they
Room
still
mom?
call it room mom. I hate that. Like sometimes they'll be a little more progressive and say room parent, but 9 times out of 10, they're talking to the mom when we come in to meet the teacher.
Yeah.
So we still have space on our sign-up chart for another room mom. Just letting you know.
That's your sign to go run out the door, find the nearest exit right now.
Oh, I think I hear
This is what we do. We do emergency training for this. Like, it is not for like plane crashes. Those are very, very like, they don't happen a lot, but asking to volunteer, oh, that happens a lot. That's where you really you put that training to use. You really put it to use.
Very much
so the No Guilt Mom podcast is for moms who feel overwhelmed, underappreciated, and stuck managing everything for their families. We just want you to know that you are not alone. We got you here. And in this podcast episode, we promise to give you doable strategies to reclaim your time, energy, and joy. And for this one, we're going to help you set a strong boundary against volunteering for your kid's school when you feel the pressure.
We are going to help
pressure.
You. Yeah, we're going to help you say, no, get back. No volunteers. No.
Run for the doors. Run for the doors.
Yeah.
And Brie, you found out an interesting stat about school start times.
Okay, well, because like I really struggle with this whole back to school time because like you said, where our kids go to school here in the Phoenix area, our kids have a district that does year-round school. So our kids go back to school the third week of July normally, which I feel is incredibly early. And so I was doing some research to be like, okay, well, when does the majority of people go back to school? And I found on weareteachers.com that over half, like it's like 51% of the country of the United States goes back to school for public schools on or before August 16th.
Yeah, I wonder if that's
different.
Divided like East and West, because I know that when I'm talking to a lot of people on the East Coast, it's like the Labor Day.
Yeah.
And a lot of the West Coast, it's like mid-August.
They do. Like, so like what I found, it did break it, like I don't have it all here in my notes, but it did break it down by region. And it was saying that the Northeast tends to lean more towards the later start date of September, and that a lot of the Midwest and Western states, Southwest, have moved to more of a August start date. I think it might also possibly, and this is me just armchairing this, have something to do with weather. Because, for instance, like where we live, school doesn't get canceled.
No.
Like our extreme weather here in the desert it's 118, 119 degrees outside. It's a heat advisory. You can't be out they advise you not to be out for more than like 15 minutes at a time during the hottest times of the day, but they don't cancel school for that. They just cancel recess.
Yeah, they have indoor recess. That's what we have here.
But in the colder regions, you got snow, you got ice, you got like things that are dangerous, so you have to close down school because you can't have people out on the roads. So maybe that's why they have like a different start date. Although I realize I'm going against my logic there, I think. But all right.
Anywhere they have their start date, it just means your mental load is bigger than expected because you don't have as much of a summer. You have to come right into school coordination, which we just talked about in the last episode from last week about that kind of frustration about school coordinating. So we're going to prepare you with how to say no when you're asked to volunteer at school, especially if it's not like your best yes. If you're a person who you hear volunteering and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to volunteer with the school, this episode isn't for you. It's okay. We all have our different episodes. It's not for you. This episode is for you if you're like, oh, I should volunteer, but I really don't want to. We're going to tell you how to say no.
Oh, yeah. That was so me at the end of elementary school. I was so
Yeah,
done.
yeah. So we'll get into that right after this. Saying no is so difficult, I feel, as not just a mom, I feel like as a woman, it's difficult to say no because you feel like you're letting everyone down. You feel like I feel like I'm lazy. I feel like I should be able to have the energy to do all these things. I should be able to manage my time better so I can give back. I should.
I was gonna say,
All
I'm
the
hearing a
things.
lot of shoulds. Stop the shouldn't.
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah,
the
well,
shouldn't.
I think that's where a lot of our guilt comes from is all the
Yeah.
shoulds that go on in our head that what we should
Well,
do and we really don't want to.
I feel like the shoulds are our like little bulletproof vests that we wear, especially as moms, because let's just be honest, a lot of the expectations of making sure everything is done for our kids at school does tend to lean on the moms. And I'm not saying that there aren't like super progressive people that are more thoughtful about both genders and that are more thoughtful about talking to both parents. But in general, all these shoulds, they're keeping us from getting all the things that we're scared of. We're scared that people are going to judge us and say that we're
Mm.
lazy or say that we're not a good parent or we're not a good community member for the school. Um, they're like, again, coming back to the whole like, not a good mom, like somebody thinking that I'm a bad mom because I didn't volunteer, that would really crush me. And
Mhm.
the desire to be helpful, those people pleasers, which women do tend to be people pleasers more than men because we're raised that way.
Yeah.
Be polite, be nice, be thoughtful of everybody else, do
Be
everything you can to help.
reliable, put
Oh,
yourself last.
right. And then there's also the factor of let's throw in the whole women helping other women. Okay. So, like, when I would volunteer, which I stopped volunteering by the time my kids like reached age like fifth grade. And mind you, I worked the entire time my kids were in school. I took jobs that had more flexible schedules to them so that I had the ability to like come and visit them at school when I wanted to and do things at the school that I wanted to do. But going back to the whole like women helping women, if there was a teacher, I would feel bad for not helping another woman that was trying to do
Oh.
things. And
Yeah.
so just all of that, like it feels like the shoulds are my only defense against all these bad things possibly happening that I'm
You're
thinking
trying to
about.
prevent things from happening to you and you being blamed by putting shoulds on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Who else
Yeah.
does that? Do you do that?
Yeah. I do not do that.
Okay.
I don't have that with volunteering, but I feel like with school in particular, I just have a different viewpoint because I was a teacher. But I was a teacher at a Title I school where I was
Mhm.
left to do most of the things by myself. We didn't have parents come into the classroom because
Yeah.
most of the families weren't available. They were working like 2 or 3 jobs. And that was okay. They still supported us. They still wanted their kids to do a good job. They wanted their kids to be supported and they supported us as teachers, but there was no actual like help coming into the classroom. And in some ways, it was easier that way because when you have other people come and help you out, sometimes those people have their own agenda and you have to manage that agenda in addition to trying to get your own goals seen as well. I mean, case in point, sometimes volunteering at school, my kids' school, was really frustrating for me because of some other moms who were there. You might remember this instance, Brie, when I volunteered on the PTA to do the restaurant nights and I was coordinating those. And I asked just one person, hey, who volunteered to help me, by the way, hey, could you just make sure these are copied? Like I'll be in right away.
Uh-huh.
And while copying them, she pointed out everything I could reword in my advertisement for that situation. She took it on herself to redo the entire flyer and then copy them herself, like, and copy those. So I just felt like I had nothing to give to this place because I was trying to like manage her helping me, but also be like, hey, I did all this work, I put this in and nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so sometimes as a teacher, I remember talking with my friends who are teachers at higher income districts,
Uh-huh.
and they said it was really hard to manage the volunteers and the parents. Um,
Really? Because they
mhm.
were
They were pushy. They were
oh.
trying to do things their own way, trying to make things better. But as a result of making it better, it was actually more work.
If there's
So,
one thing I have learned in my life. It's that, yeah, people don't necessarily need you coming in and telling them how to do their job better, right? Like, I get it. It's from a place of love. It's not from a place of anger and judgment and like, you're just not doing it well. But yeah, when someone's put a lot of energy and effort into something, yeah, that can be hard. That really can be.
And
And let's just go back to the whole volunteering. You never know if you're going to get a good partner or a not great partner.
yeah, and I have to say, like, I've learned a lot, and I still struggle with that because when I've learned, I'm trying really, really hard trying, but unless someone asks for feedback, you have to keep your mouth shut. And I'm trying so hard, and I don't always succeed. And I aim this to you, Brie. I do not always succeed on that one because my opinions come out as much as I try to suppress them.
You're like me with me trying to not say, "Told you so." I told you that
Yeah.
was gonna happen. Did I not say that was gonna happen?
Mhm.
Like, that's my thing that bubbles out of me that I try not to say, but
Yeah.
unfortunately comes out a little bit too much.
So, all this to say to wrap it around is that volunteering isn't always the best for even the person you're volunteering for. It's not this rosy thing that you can just do and automatically feel better about yourself. There's a lot
Mhm,
of complications involved with actually going through the act of volunteering.
mhm,
So, just keep that in mind when you feel like you should. Maybe you
mhm.
shouldn't. Maybe they haven't enough if they're not.
Right? Like, that's the other one. Like, I think sometimes it's worth noting that if it is gonna be a real headache for you to do it, to be able to get to the school at the time that they're asking for it and to get the commitment that they're looking for and to actually be an active member who's volunteering and not just a body,
Mhm.
um, it might not be I don't know if I would really want that, right? Like, if I
Yeah.
was running so I can just tell you as somebody that was like, if I was running a group that I needed volunteers for, which I have before, I'd rather have 3 people that are gun ho and really into doing it than 10 people that 5 of them or 6 of them just don't wanna be there.
Yeah.
So,
But
it's not because of you doing anything negative. It's because it just like I can feel that energy, right? Like when someone doesn't want to be there and that I'm asking too much of them. So then like you're trying to figure out where it's at and like it just I don't know. I feel like nobody
yeah.
really remembers who was the room mom 3
No one
years later.
remembers it.
No.
No. Has there been something that you've signed up for out of obligation and you've crashed out soon
Oh,
after
yeah.
it?
Yeah, art masterpiece. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you and I met, like so funny story for everybody, like, that's how JoAnn and I met. We did art masterpiece because our school district that our kids went to, their elementary district did not have art. It was a cut that they had to make before our kids even started school. So they have an art masterpiece program where parents volunteer and come in, and they actually have an art teacher who created the curriculum. We come in and we teach the art lesson in class. And I did it for like 4 years probably, and every year I had different people that were doing it with me because it just depended on what class my kids were in. And I had all I'm gonna say is that not every volunteer is built the same. I had volunteers that were awesome. We were totally in sync, totally able to do this together, and then I had ones that never showed up and canceled the day up every time and left me
Oh
in a
my
classroom
gosh.
of 30 kids by myself to teach an art lesson, and by the way, I am not a teacher. That's not my background. I like kids, but classroom teaching, not my strong suit. So, yeah.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
JoAnn comes in and be like, "Let me orchestrate you, my minions. Do, do, do."
Right? Like, I always loved it when I had a strong volunteer because I can feed off of that energy and I can build from it. But when it's just me trying to build the whole thing and that wasn't my expectation, it's hard. It's
Yeah.
really hard.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of actually crashing out of an obligation I have signed up for right now.
I know
A
what that
volunteer
is, I
thing.
think.
You know what it is. You
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely know what it is. And it's one of those things where I feel like I should be doing it, but it's just I'm not meshing with everybody involved in it. Like I feel like the other women I'm doing it with, and this is for the sake of like helping another woman out and women and
Mhm.
children, they're just not at the same stage of life that I am. And like I know the stage of life they're at. They have
Yeah,
young kids. I get it. Like I
yeah.
get it. But they don't get me. And it feels like selfish to say that. And I think that's something that we always have to think about when we're volunteering. Like yes, we are giving back. Should it be a selfless thing? In some extent, yes, but also when you're devoting that much time to something and that much time that's actually being taken away from other things. So like there's a meeting tomorrow night. That's a really long meeting. That's 6 to like 9 p.m. And I'm like, I'm going to be taken away from my kids who it's their first day of school.
Mhm.
I want to know what happened with them. I want to relax. I've been like completely beat because like work, we've been like bam, 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 bam. We've been doing
Uh-huh.
a lot of cool stuff, but it's been a
Yeah.
bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Um, and when I'm not even feeling seen in it, I know it sounds very selfish, but I don't want to go. I just don't want to go. So it's one of those things where I've been in it for such a long time and I feel like I'll be letting other people down, but I also know like they have this.
They
Like,
probably do. And you know what? You have just given us a perfect lead in after the break to talk about how to reframe saying no in a way where you're honoring the fact that you are real. Say it together, people. I am worth it. I am
yes.
worth saying no. I can
I am
do
worth
that.
saying no. I am still a
So,
good person if I say no. This is
yep.
something that we talk about in our balance membership all the time. So many women have started saying no more. I mean, I could think of the members right now off my hand who have been like, you know what? I didn't do that. And everything worked out great. So if you are in that situation now where maybe you're like me and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to say no and I feel like I'm a bad person, come and join us in our balance membership balanceformoms.com/go. We have the link right there in the show notes, and we can't wait to see you there. And right after this break, we're going to reframe saying no as self care.
So, you were saying before the break, JoAnn, about how you have a volunteer commitment that you're in right now, and you're
Mm-hmm.
struggling because when like it's kind of like what I had mentioned before, like not everything is created equal, and in the situation, you feel like you're at your capacity right now
Mm-hmm.
for what you have available.
Yeah,
And because of that, you want to say, "Hey guys, I need to bow out. I can't continue with this anymore," but you feel bad about doing that.
I do.
And
I feel bad about doing it. I feel like I'm like selfish for doing it, even though, and I mean, I bet a lot of like probably a lot of other people are in the situation too. I also have another volunteer commitment that's starting up. Mountain bike season is
oh
starting.
yeah.
And I'm a coach. So I will be out on the mountain Mondays and Wednesdays riding with middle schoolers and some high
Trying not to
schoolers
break any
too.
bones. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Trying to keep up with them. That's actually what I'm a little scared about. I'm just afraid I don't have the physical capacity. I'm sure I actually do. I do. I'm just a little nervous about it. But so I do have that. And then, work and
Mhm.
my own like physical health and taking care of my own because I don't want to let myself suffer if
Well,
I
and
take
it's
on more things.
well, and also as again, ghost of children future, I
Hmm.
can tell you right now, going into your senior year, especially with a child that is way more active than mine, who just graduated. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of stuff there. And then
There's a
you
lot of
also have
stuff.
your youngest is starting junior high at a new
Mhm.
school, new expectations. It's a lot of things to manage, not just for you, but also to give your kids the space to be able to figure all that stuff out.
Yeah,
It's
and
it's a lot.
it's hard to say no. It's hard to when you think of saying no, I know a question that we get asked a lot in coaching is like, "Okay, well, I have all these things going on, but how do I determine my priorities because they all seem equally important?" So,
Okay, so
yeah. So, like, one of the ways I tell people to determine priorities is ask, like, what do you want to do? And that's the hardest question to answer because right away with my the volunteer thing I'm doing, I know I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want
you
to
were
go to the
doing it
meetings,
as your way to, like, pay back, pay it forward
pay back,
to
but
the group.
I think though, I don't even see my impact in it anymore. It's
See
not bringing me any joy. And I'm not
right,
saying,
but I'm just saying, like, when you originally signed up, did you feel
yeah,
like you were giving the gift of, like, yourself to the group? Like,
I,
I feel like that most of the time, I'll be honest. When I volunteer, I feel like I'm giving them, like, a gift of me. I don't have the
yeah,
financial, but I can be there myself.
I didn't so much to think of it that way. I thought of it as a way to meet women who have the same values and ideals as I do
Okay.
who aren't necessarily connected with like my kids. So like a lot of, my friends are connected with
Gotcha.
my kids, which is
Mhm.
great. I just wanted another way to like give back to the community and like
Yeah.
do something with
Yeah.
skills that I've honed, such as like here on the podcast. I mean, us coming on with a mic in front of our faces and speaking spontaneously and yet being clear and coherent, that is something that scares a lot of people and that a lot of people don't want to do ever.
Oh my
and,
gosh,
and
yes.
it's a skill. And I thought like I could give back with that skill. And I just haven't found a way to give back with it.
Yeah. And that's totally fine. Another it brings up this thought to me about our time.
Mhm.
And we have an episode that we did with Eve Rodsky, and I can't remember if it was because we did 2 episodes with Eve Rodsky. I can't remember if it was the first or the second one, but she talks about how women don't value our time.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that men don't value their time, because I do think there are plenty of times where everybody in their life has not valued their time. But I do think that for women, a lot of times we just take on that expectation that we will do all the things that are related to our family and our kids because we're the mom and that's what
Mhm.
moms do. But really, we need to be thoughtful about the fact that like our time is valuable, and that just because you are a stay-at-home mom, a work-at-home mom, a mom who has a part-time job, that doesn't mean that because you have time that you are not clocking in or clocking out of a job, that means you need to be giving that time to the PTA or to the boosters or to Art Masterpiece.
Or even a mom who has a full-time job. I know what happens a lot in that situation is that you feel guilty that you're not giving any time to your family or kids. And so you overextend yourself to kind of
Yep.
pay back the time that you're not
Yeah.
spending with your kids, and you're putting in extra time to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because again, like we have this like thought process of what we're being told, not explicitly. I've never once had anybody say to me, Brie, I'm so glad you're here. Since you're the mom of blah, blah, I would love for you to just volunteer and do XYZ. Or, hey, Brie, I know that since you only work at the community resource center that's only 5 minutes away, I thought maybe you could come in once a week and help with XY. I've never had anybody say that.
No. Mm-mm.
But those like non-vocalized expectations of moms to do things is so real and so
So real.
strong, and all that we're just trying to tell you is that you are not required to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not, and
You're not.
nobody's going to remember. Like they will in the moment.
They will
They
in the
will in
moment.
that moment, but I can guarantee you, like I walk into a room and I can't remember why I went to that room.
Yeah.
That nobody's going to remember a month later that you did not sign up to volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be
Or
gone.
if you are volunteering right now and you need to get out of it, yes, they are going to remember when you say, I'm sorry, I cannot do this anymore. And with my particular obligation, I think this whole conversation has made me realize that I need to back out and
Yeah.
to do it the right way, as in not just ghost everyone, but rather to be like, hey, like I am dealing with a lot right now.
I will
Uh,
say that whole ghosting thing is one thing that I love and hate about our generation, because I do think it's our generation that started the ghosting, because like we were the
yeah.
ones that had the text messages first. But
He broke up with me on a post-it.
I just saw that episode the other day of Sex in the City. That's
Sex
good.
in the City. Yeah.
Yes.
Burger.
Yes. So I guess what I'm like just trying to get at is that like, yes, I would love nothing more than to be able to ghost I want to Homer Simpson my way out of everything. That meme where he like just like backs up slowly into the bushes.
Mhm.
That's what I would love to do with every awkward situation in my life. I
Yeah.
can't, but I do think it's important because nobody expects you to do everything. And sometimes all you have to do is just articulate to other people the stuff you do have on your plate that you need to deal with. And that's what's making you decide to take a step back. Because again, as people that have volunteered, JoAnn and I
Yeah.
can tell you, like when you've got too much going on, we would much rather have you be you than to guilt you into volunteering with us.
Yeah. And also, like, some people you don't owe an explanation to. That is a lesson that I am really, really trying hard to learn because
Not
like,
everybody needs an explanation.
not everyone needs an explanation because, I
True.
mean,
True.
if they're like your personal friends and you want to continue a friendly, like a friendship relationship with them, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, you probably need an explanation then. If they're just acquaintances who you only see once in a while, you don't need one. You don't. It's more exhausting for you. It's more exhausting for them. It's just like you don't need one. And
Yeah.
if
Start
it's that's
simple.
yeah, start simple. So right after this break, actually, we're going to give you 3 scripts to say no. 3 things to say no. So that's coming up right after this. So saying no is actually the hard part. How to structure it, how to say it coherently without going off on a huge tangent and apologizing your way through the whole thing. Cause we've all been there. We've been like, oh
Oh
my gosh,
God,
I'm
yes.
so sorry that I can't do this for you. And meanwhile, the other person's like, okay, cool.
Yeah. And am I not the queen of like continuously explaining something until I get that I get something back from the other person I'm talking to that shows me that they are good and done?
Mhm.
And so like if I can't even tell you how many conversations I've been stuck in that should have been like a 30-second conversation and it turned into 30 minutes because someone's trying to be empathetic and listening to me and I just keep going and going and going because I don't know that they've gotten it yet and that they're good and that they don't need more reasons from me.
Yep.
It's like
Yeah.
riding on a bike and not going anywhere. It's very frustrating.
It's ready.
So, yes. Okay, so
Yeah.
people, we have 3 scripts for you guys today. 3.
Yeah. Wait,
The
before you get
first
into them though,
oh,
can I tell you
sorry.
what it's like on
Yes.
the other side of that?
Oh, yes, do.
It's not just you, by the way, who does it. But for me, I like have it in me. I don't want to interrupt. So if someone keeps talking and talking, I'm listening. I am listening. I am listening. And there will be nothing from me until it's gone on way too long. And I'm like, okay, we got to
Yeah.
like stop because I don't want to interrupt.
Right? And I have that whole I interrupt people all the time. And then I apologize because I know I shouldn't and I don't mean to. It's that overwhelming urge that I have to say it or else I'm going to explode.
Yes.
Um
So
but
let's teach how to
yeah.
do it concisely. How to do it
Yes.
concisely with structure. Get your point across without having to have too much words associated with it. So the first one, Brie, how do we do the first one?
Okay, so the first one, we're calling it the empathy plus yes no script.
Okay.
Okay. So on this one, JoAnn asked me to chair something for the PTA.
Brie, can you coordinate all of our restaurant fundraisers this year?
Oh my gosh, that sounds great. And I am so touched that you asked me. I can't commit to that right now, but I would love to help with making copies or something else later, or maybe help out in second semester when my schedule's a little bit clearer.
And scene. And I would like to add with this empathy plus yes no script, only use it if you're willing to do something else.
Yeah.
Like if something else excites you, this is not an obligation. Like do not
Exactly.
get you into something that you don't want to do.
Yeah,
At all.
technically you could have ended it after I can't commit right now. You have a good day though. Good luck with
Yep.
the fundraiser.
You good. You're good.
Yeah,
We
you go,
we have this
girl.
conversation with our kids a lot where they want to say no to something and they're like or they have a reason that they don't want to do something but they don't want to
Mhm.
share that reason with the other person.
Yeah.
And it could get them trapped later on. So for
Yeah.
instance, like my daughter didn't want one English teacher. She wanted this other English teacher and
Mhm.
she was trying to think of, well, what's a good excuse that I really want this other English teacher? I could say like I just don't get along well with this one. And we're like, hold on. If you don't say your real reason for not doing something,
Then they're gonna
you
give
might
you
get put in a
reasons. Yeah.
situation where you don't want to do that either.
Yeah. Well, I
Uh,
could imagine them being like, okay, well, I can understand you don't get along well with this teacher, but what a great experience to you go get along with teachers that you're not going to like when you go off to college or whatever, rather than
yeah.
saying,
Or like, there's the third English teacher. What if they put you with the third one and
ooh,
not the one you wanted?
and
Like,
how are you going to get out of that one? Oh, I don't
how are you
like
going
that
to get
one
out of
either.
it?
We don't, we got beef. We got beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
It's
have to be
hard.
honest
It's
with
hard.
your intentions. So, like, only use this plus yes no script if you really want to do that thing because you might be doing that thing and then you're
Yeah.
like, oh well, what did I do this?
So with that being said, would you like to introduce our second script here that you can use
Okay.
to say no?
The direct boundary script. Okay, ask me to do something.
All right. Hey, JoAnn, I'm so glad you are here. I noticed that we didn't have you volunteering at the carnival last year, and I was really, really hoping you would sign up for the cleanup at the end of the carnival. You know, it goes from like 9 p.m. to like 1 a.m.
Hell no.
That is a very direct one.
That's
Yes.
that's not the script. Here we go.
I've tried so hard not to laugh, people, because that was a conversation that did happen to me one time.
Okay, so the direct boundary script, being respectful to the other person. Thank you for asking. This year, though, I am keeping my schedule really light. I hope you understand.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, but it's only a few hours. That's when you're like, boundary pusher, back away.
That's my husband. I'm going to leave. That's not very direct.
No.
That's the non-direct way to get out of the situation. But
that's when I'm like, bless your heart. I hope you have a nice day.
bless your heart.
Bless your heart. Yes. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I like that one because it is short, it is sweet, you are polite. And what is someone going to come back to say to that?
Yeah, they're just pushing your boundary. That's all. That's all they could say to that.
I mean, honestly, like even if they come back and they go like, well, I don't really understand, because every parent is supposed to give 15 hours of volunteer work.
And that's a whole other issue. If you agreed to that, I am sorry. You need to.
Well,
why did you agree to that?
Well, the elementary school our kids went to, that was an expectation that they had. It was and we ask for involvement from parents. We ask that you do like 15 hours a semester or something like that. At 15, I'm pulling out of my hat. I have no idea. But I mean, you just keep saying the same boundary back. I understand and I appreciate it so much, but my calendar is not available right now.
Yep.
Thank you.
Full.
Yeah. And if you need to, you turn around and you walk away. So it's okay. We promise you most adults are adults and we'll respect that. So,
okay. The conditional yes script.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Brie, would you bring snacks for the next 8 practices?
Oh, well, I could do the snacks, but only if we continue to rotate it. 8's a lot. So how about I do like the next 2 and then we rotate to a different parent?
See, that's perfect thing. Yeah. If you're willing to do a little bit of it, but not everything, there you go.
Yeah. Conditional yes. I'd be willing, back to the carnival one, like I'd be willing to work the carnival, but I just absolutely am a bear at night and cannot do the takedown. So I'm happy to come early to school and help set up between 2 and 5. That sounds great.
I'm happy to take on this copy job, but I think it's a little too much for one person. So I need at least 2 other parents helping me. It's another conditional yes.
So that is some really, really great scripts that you can put in your back pocket. I promise you'll get to use one before the week is over. Before the first week of school is done, you will get to use one of these scripts. And it is okay.
It is. Like, if you feel pressure to volunteer at your kid's school and you don't want to, you don't have to. You need to respect your space, respect your time. Your time is important and you don't have infinite amounts of time or energy either. I think that is the fastest way that we can get burned out if we think that of ourselves and we expect that of ourselves. And then, of course, we're going to let ourselves down because we don't have infinite amounts of energy and time.
So if someone, I feel like if you're hearing all of this and you're like, I get it, I love it, JoAnn, I love it, Brie, I want to do it, I want to start saying no, but I just don't think I can. Come and join us in Balance.
Come and join us in Balance. We work on those boundaries all the time, and they're not just boundaries.
Yeah,
a lot of them are actually bigger issues than just saying no. It's about relationships. It's about having conversations with people so that they know what you're up to. It's about clarifying what you want, really clarifying, because sometimes when we're in that guilt, we don't know what we want because all these shoulds are clouding our brain and it makes it impossible to figure out what do I actually want in this situation. And that is something that we help you with in Balance.
Right. And when you're really emotionally charged in a conversation, it is hard to be able to clearly articulate what your thoughts are, as well as being able to hear what the other person's side is. So that's another piece of it that we work on with you. Like, it's not only like shifting that mindset of that you are worthy and allowed to say no, but it's also shifting the mindset of, and I can have that conversation in a way that's not going to break my relationship with this person.
Because a lot of it is also what we think the other person's thinking. Like, we talk about this a lot, Brie. Like, if we think the other person like hates us, or if we think the other person is thinking we're doing a crappy job, our reaction to that is going to be so much different than if we know the other person is just having a hard day, has a lot of stuff on their plate, and is just trying to show up the best they can, it changes the whole interaction. And that's something we teach you how to do in balance. So
Yep.
come join us there, www.balanceformoms.com/go, and you could start right away. And you know what? When you start, you get a call immediately with me. I'm the one who I'm like, tell me about you. Tell me about your challenges. I just did one this morning. Shout out to Marielle, who I met. And our conversation was just like, hey, like, tell me, like, what's going on with you? Like, what do you do? How old are your kids? What kind of things are you finding hard right now? What are you wanting to do with your life? And I just listened to you and I'm like, okay, so here's what we're going to do. And I'll set out this plan and you leave with a goal. Like Muriel's goal is right now for phase one. And she really wants to make sure she like implements stuff too. And I'm like, that's perfect because we have the sticker chart. And actually by finishing phase one, you implement 7 things right there. So you start using it in your life just by going through the balanced curriculum. And it's such an amazing, amazing thing. So come join us there. I really want to see you there. I really want to meet you.
It's so important to know that you are not the only one struggling with this. Other people are. There are tools to help you, and sometimes those tools do take a mind shift, a mindset shift, which is not as easy as just saying something.
Yep.
But if you really are looking for your people, we know where they are.
We know where they
They're in
are.
balance. They're in
We know
balance with
where they
us.
are.
Yeah.
So this school year, when you started out, remember, you don't have to volunteer for everything. We gave you some ways to say no, even if you feel like you're expected to do it. Your no is going to help set you free and give you more free time this year. So with that, remember, the best mom is a happy mom. Take care of you. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by.